Capitalism. Lovely concept, and the way it started off, it is absolutely brilliant. Uh, any person who brings in a little more effort, a little more creativity, they're bound to get the rewards for it. So, say you're baking bread and you make the absolutely best bread in town. Obviously, people are going to migrate to you because you've put in more effort, you've put in better ingredients, say, and you've marketed yourself well. So good for you. People are going to come to you and your profits are going to increase. And as a concept, it's actually quite brilliant because the person who does take more of a risk, they do deserve to get more of a reward. But is that what we're dealing with today? So this is something that we'd actually have to think about because capitalism in its truest sense is really a very motivational thing for entrepreneurs. And it works well for the customers too because they are getting the better and better product each time because the players in the market are just competing to get even better. They're competing to put the best particular product on the market. You have many companies who they're not even competing. They are taking up losses. They're stacking the losses, hoping that one day they would overcome the competition and then they'll actually make up. And this is doesn't make any business sense because you see companies who are like totally okay with the fact that they're not profit making at all. They promise a whole lot and they go ahead delivering a part of that promise for now, assuming that at a later date, once they are a near monopoly, then they can actually probably squeeze a customer. And if you look at the telecom sector today, it's somewhere around those lines because at one time we thought this is the best thing that ever happened to the telecom industry, where we had newer players coming in and it was quite vibrant. We had like 10 plus players over there, and a new player came in with huge backing, and we were like, wow, they are promising free data forever, free calls forever. It sounded too good to be true, and as I've been saying for many years now, it isn't true. I mean, if you looked at the last few years itself, you would have noticed that they finally started talking sense, which is like they're not profitable, and the only way they can get profitable is the average revenue per user. They keep on increasing it, and yeah, no talk about the free data anymore. That's non-existent. They just shoved it under the rug. And yeah, free calls, that's also not happening. And where we once reached a stage where we used to pay a lot per GB, today we're not paying per GB that high. It's actually one of the lowest in the world. But there's another thing that's happening. Earlier, we used to have one of the lowest per month cost to keep a sim alive. And that is something that's amazing that we had. And that is slowly getting pushed out of the horizon. So if you're looking at an average user, just a poor farmer or someone who really couldn't afford, who doesn't need tons of GB, but who just needs a basic phone. They need something to actually keep their sim alive. And that used to be available by the truckload earlier. We had so many different players. You had your Tata Docomo, you had your BSNL, which is still kind of decent then, and you had so many others. And what happened then? Uninor closed down, and if you're looking at Aircel, not even there anymore. All of them either got absorbed or quit. Now we are just dealing with three players, and I say three quite hopefully because now it's primarily just Airtel and Jio. And V is almost dead. I mean, very soon you'd see that will be taken up either by Airtel or Jio. And BSNL, yes, they are doing what they do best, kill themselves. They're shooting themselves in the foot. So they're basically providing patchy services, and the government is quite happy. I mean, they They're just waiting for a day when the general public would say that yes, BSNL can't survive anymore, so let's put it on a platter and give it to one of the private players and let them take it up for peanuts. And that's the way it's headed right now. And BSNL is not bad. I mean, I myself had voted to BSNL, but then again, it's like they're not even trying. They can actually. I mean, we don't need forget 5G, forget 4G. Even if they had 3G, but just stable speeds, that would have been enough for a whole chunk of customers. But yeah, that's not happening. You can see them moving from 4G to 3G to 2G, and the only thing that a customer is looking for is when when you're at the point of sale and you're trying to actually scan a QR code and make a payment and the internet drops, then it's useless. I mean, there's every chance that people would just ditch it and move to the next alternative. And now the only alternatives are actually Jio and Airtel. And very soon you would actually see them joining hands. And the way they're going right now, it even though it's not official, it pretty much looks like it's a duopoly where one person increases their prices a little bit and the other person's like, yes, let's follow suit. And it's going like that for quite a few months and years now. So very soon it might actually come up in the open that it's now a cartel. I think they're just waiting for BSNL to shut down and get absorbed by one of the two, and we also to completely just collapse. So matter of time. At that point of time, you can actually see uh, the average revenue per user go up to maybe 200, 300, 400 a month. And yeah, they'll disguise it really well, where they'll still say that you'll be getting thousands of GB a single month, and they'll give you data, statistics to show you that, yeah, thousands of GB divided by 500 is still one of the cheapest in the world. But yeah, most people don't even need that many GB. I mean, what people are really looking for is fine if you can get even say 20 GB in a month, and if you can bring that down to maybe 100 a month, that would have been like lovely. But no, that's not the way they'd want it. They'd want to keep the monthly as maybe some 400, 500. I mean, that would be the target, obviously. And yeah, they can give a whole lot of things which people would probably never need in their lives. And yeah, maybe a Geo subscription and whatever, Amazon Prime or whatever it is that most people might, whoever is already using it, they already have those subscriptions. So it wouldn't make too much sense there. So yeah, the way that we are seeing it doesn't look hopeful, and this doesn't seem like capitalism in the traditional sense, but in the modern sense, yes, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at a few players take hold of the market any way that you see fit, and then yeah, squeeze out your competitors, squeeze out your customers, you win. I think that people keep saying about capitalism, that capitalism is what breeds innovation, and I like that. I like hearing that because yeah, to a certain extent it does promote innovation, especially if it's going the traditional sense where people are trying to be the absolute best, and because of that people turn to you. But yeah, we're moving a little off that too, aren't we? Where right now we've peaked in many of the places, especially in tech and all. If you look at mobile phones, you don't see too much of a difference. And slowly you start seeing that uh, people are looking to squeeze out money in ways that were never chargeable earlier. I mean, if you look at tourism today, that's one of the best places you can see. Any particular place, that a little hillock beyond your village or something, you just go there to unwind and relax. That's something you could have just done and just watch the sunset. That is something you could have done on a regular day. But that works out a few days, a few weeks, people start knowing about it. Next day you come over there, there'll be like a small little closed fence over there and a person taking tickets. And for what used to be free, you're now going to pay a certain amount of money to go and see the scenic sunrise. So, yeah, This is exactly what's happening in many of the places. If you're looking at, say, the whole subscription thing, and don't, that's one of the, I mean, if you're an entrepreneur, that's something that you're supposed to be both ashamed of, and it's one of the best money making devices ever. You should be quite proud of that. So on one side, as a consumer, it's the worst ever, because earlier what you used to own, what we could actually keep for ourselves, be it a movie, be it anything, be it our office tools, Microsoft, it's not even Microsoft Office, it's now 365. You pay every month for it, and yeah, you can have access to your documents. Otherwise, poof, everything is gone. Your old DVDs or owning movies, that's all just gone. And the worst part, at least if you were paying a certain amount of money to Netflix, and you could know that, yeah, any given time, say 5 months down the lane, I want to go and watch the title, I can. That also is not in the picture, because they themselves don't know when they're going to pull it off. So nothing is permanent anymore, and it's just a way where people can squeeze out a little more money every month. And it's not a one-time fee anymore. The way that they make it sound, it's like they cut it down, it's much smaller. Instead of paying, say, thousands up front, you're going to pay a tiny amount every month. But that's obviously better for the company, because it gives them regular streams of incomes. But on the whole, forget that you're paying more at the end of many years. But it also brings a stage where you don't own anything anymore, and you can never say for sure that this, I've paid good money, now this is mine. It's more of a rental service for anything. Actually see that happening. If you look at Spotify, where they'd actually bring in certain features. And one of the earliest features I heard was that they're going to bring in, what is that? Some mix, which would allow you to discover more music. And now they actually give you the premium tier in order to get rid of the mix. And the way they word it is actually quite beautiful. The way that they say that now you can actually have your premium service, where you can choose the songs that you want in the order you like. That's what we were doing at the start of Spotify. Then they brought in this feature which never allowed us to do that anymore, where they would decide which song comes in which order, and they would just bring in their own promoted songs every once in a while. So again, it's a brilliant way to make money, but it's one of the worst things with regards to the end consumer. And yes, we would be forced to actually pick up the premium subscription of everything. And the number of subscriptions that you'd be taking on a monthly basis, it's going to be crazy. The amount of money you'd be spending monthly just to listen to music, watch movies, entertainment. We're not even talking about the essentials. The essentials are a whole different game, and I don't even want to be talking about that right now. Even more funnier when you actually see that coming in other industries. The whole subscription services, fine, entertainment, I can understand. But what happens when they actually bring in the subscription services to automobiles? So we're reaching a stage where if you wanted your uh, heated seats and everything, that's something that would come under a subscription tier. And it's funny because when they're mass producing these vehicles, they'll be putting in all the bells and the whistles. They'll be putting in the heated seats, the ventilation, the ACs, the airbags, everything would be there in the car, but it would be unlocked only if you pay a specific amount, and that's going to be very risky. Especially, I mean, I can understand the heated seats or even the air conditioning, because those are luxuries, we can say. But imagine one day they decide that the best way they can make money is even include that to, say, the seat belt or the airbags, and 1 month you forgot to pay your subscription, your premium subscription, and that's the unfortunate day that you happen to have an accident and the airbags didn't work, because because you didn't opt for the premium subscription, so your life is not worth that much. I don't know, where are we heading now? Another place where we see capitalism working its brilliant pieces of magic is in kids entertainment, and that's scary in so many ways. So one of the best examples, I mean, you were if you're a parent and if you've been listening to these kind of videos at all, you would have heard this thing about Coco Melon, and that's like crazy scary for the way that they actually created. So apparently they actually put babies in rooms and put like two big screens, and on one screen they'll just put nature and everything that's normal, and on one side they actually put their Coco Melon cartoons, ads, whatever it is that they actually create over there. And it's more or less a neurological hook. They want to see how long are these people going to stare at those screens. And when I say people, I mean these tiny little kids, toddlers, babies. And the minute that their attention just goes off, they would rewrite that little part of the script again, and they'll just recreate that cartoon to make sure that the kids are actually just stuck onto that screen. Again, no problems at all from the business point of view, because if you're looking at it from YouTube's point of view, they don't care what you watch, they just want you to watch. And if you're looking at the company's point of view, again, they are doing what YouTube is asking them to do. They're getting kids to sit on the phone or on that screen for hours altogether. And YouTube is happy, yes. This particular company is happy because they are creating something that's basically neurological heroin. So your kids are now addicted to this thing, and it's not gonna be good for the kids. So where does it stop? I mean, we're looking at uh, brilliance of marketing, but the question is when it starts becoming unhealthy marketing, or the end product is supremely unhealthy, the end game is unfair competition and rolling over and monopolies. When you're reaching that stage, again, you'll have to actually ask yourself, is this really capitalism as we really thought it to be? I don't think so. Where are we heading? I mean, that's something that we should all be asking ourselves. So, uh, what do you think? I mean, put your thoughts in the comments and let's see what you have to say. Anyway, for now, winding up, hopefully our system starts getting better. I'm not too hopeful, but yes, let's hope that the system actually starts getting a little better, a little more safer for everyone, and we actually get down to real capitalism where the best wins, not the one with the most muscle power and the one with the most tactical cunning. That's not what capitalism was supposed to be. But yeah, signing off.